Welcome, friend. Your path has led you here. This is a space for contemplation. For those returning to this journey of discovery, it is good to have you back. Some elements in nature simply exist. Others seem to hold a certain memory. We are often drawn to things that shine brightly. But some of the most profound teachings come from what is quiet, from what endures. These are reminders left for us by the earth itself, not as adornments, but as anchors for the mind. Found in mountains, streams, and the silent places of the world, we will explore 10 formations of the earth that invite deep reflection. In ancient teachings and quiet observations, they have been seen as many things: vessels of light, echoes of the stars, the very bones of the mountains. But a single, unifying understanding flows through these perspectives. They help quiet the dissonance, not because they possess a strange power, but because they reflect a clarity that is already within you. Tonight, we begin a journey not into superstition, but into the awareness that nature can awaken in us. You are about to be introduced to 10 stones of profound stillness, tools that help us face our own inner shadows. And once you understand this perspective, it becomes a part of your journey. Let us begin. The first of 10 reminders, the first mirror of inner quiet. This stone's gift is not in its shine, but in the tranquility it offers. If you've ever felt the restlessness of your own thoughts, you may already recognize its essence. Number 10, smoky quartz, the stone of grounded clarity. Some crystals glitter, others radiate vibrant color. And then there are those that seem to absorb the world's noise, inviting you into stillness. From the ancient mountain ranges of the world, this smoky crystal has been gently drawn from the earth's embrace for centuries, not for its dazzling brilliance, no, but because it holds something many of us seek: a sense of being grounded. This is smoky quartz. For many, it appears as a gentle, earth-toned gem with a soft, hazy color. But for those who have observed its effects over time, it represents something more profound. It is a mirror, not for your external self, but for your inner state. First embraced by ancient cultures like the Druids in the British Isles, smoky quartz was a revered presence. In the mountains of Scotland, it was named Cairngorm after the peaks where its purest forms were found. It became a symbol of resilience, a quiet companion against life's unseen struggles. From a geological view, smoky quartz is quartz transformed by nature's subtle radiation. Deep within the earth, the surrounding granite emits natural energy over millennia, slowly shifting the crystal's structure from clear to a smoky brown or deep gray. But the science of its formation is only one layer of its story. A deeper understanding lies in how it makes people feel. Ancient mountain folk carried it, believing it calmed the heart before a difficult journey. Spiritual guides used it in practices to clear spaces of heavy energy, and it was often placed near those grieving to offer a quiet, stable presence. Smoky quartz is now sourced from many parts of the globe: Brazil, Colorado, the Swiss Alps, Madagascar. Yet, those from the ancient soils of Scotland seem to carry the weight of old stories, shaped not only by geology, but by the memory of storm and silence. Today, most smoky quartz is sourced through mindful excavation, particularly in Brazil and Madagascar, where large formations exist within granite. Yet, tradition speaks of a different way. The old Highlanders would read the landscape, observing where the morning mist settled longest upon the fields, believing it was drawn to the quartz below. And quite often, their intuition was correct. When shaped and polished, high-quality smoky quartz displays a gentle dance of shadow and substance within. Some pieces are pale, like faint wisps of smoke. Others are nearly opaque, like silent pools of water. If you look with care, you will often find gentle inclusions, like frozen breath. These are not imperfections. They are signatures of its journey, prized by collectors and those who seek its calm. Simpler pieces are accessible, while premium stones with exceptional clarity can be valued much higher, especially those from historic European locations. In adornments, smoky quartz often stands alone in simple settings. It is not a gem that demands attention. It invites contemplation. Beyond its quiet beauty, smoky quartz exhibits a piezoelectric quality, meaning it can hold a small electrical charge. For many, this is symbolic of its ability to absorb and neutralize energy, emotional or environmental. It is often used in grounding practices, especially helpful for those navigating grief, stress, or a restless mind. Many feel it can hold a bit of your inner turmoil for you, allowing you some space to breathe. Perhaps this is why old wisdom suggests it calms the spirit. It doesn't confront inner shadows. It gives them a place to settle. It simply reflects a state of peace. And if there is one thing that restless energy cannot endure, it is stillness. This is not a stone of outward show. It is a stone of memory, of patience, of mastering one's own inner landscape. A guardian not of treasure, but of tranquility. In a world focused on brightness, smoky quartz reminds us that sometimes the greatest clarity is found in the quiet moments. For those who are willing to listen, it does more than offer comfort. It remembers what we often forget, that not all shadows are to be overcome. Some are simply a place for the light to find rest. If smoky quartz was the mirror, this next stone is the lens. Formed in volcanic intensity, cooled in profound silence, and marked with colors from deep within the earth. It does not repel, it reveals. Some traditions say it helps clarify confusion. Others feel it quiets pathways of unhelpful thought. But one thing is understood, it is a tool for focused awareness. Number 9, rainbow obsidian, the reflector of inner truth. Long before other stones took the spotlight, there was a substance born not of slow pressure, but of sudden fire. Obsidian is volcanic glass, forged in fiery eruption. Among its many variations, one is unique for its subtle, hidden glow. Rainbow obsidian, a shard of shadow containing a whisper of light, found in the volcanic highlands of Mexico and scattered across regions in Armenia, Japan, and the western United States. This stone forms as lava cools very quickly, trapping microscopic mineral deposits inside. These fine layers bend the light, producing subtle bands of green, violet, gold, or deep blue, a quiet iridescence that appears only when you view the stone from the right angle. For the ancient Aztec people, this was not merely a stone. It was a tool of perception. They crafted it into sharp implements, yes, but its deeper purpose was spiritual. Priests used polished obsidian surfaces in sacred ceremonies for scrying, to seek insight and look past illusions. They were not seeking a simple reflection. They were seeking revelation. Unlike stones worn for their outer beauty, rainbow obsidian was often kept close, wrapped in cloth or held near the heart. Not due to its fragility, but due to its personal nature. It was believed to help one acknowledge unspoken fears and transform them into visible understanding. Modern sources are found in Mexico's Sierra Madre Mountains and near volcanic sites in Oregon. The extraction process is done with care. Miners look for specific flows in the rock, then gently break away the surrounding material to uncover the shimmering core. Every piece is different. Some show their light in concentric rings, others in flowing bands. The effect is subtle, almost as if it's alive. In contemplative practices, rainbow obsidian is known as a tool for truth. It is said to help cut through mental clutter, allowing one to see hidden emotional wounds, and more importantly, one's hidden strength. People use it to gently release attachments to old pain or patterns that cling to the spirit. But there is a deeper layer of wisdom here. In quiet spiritual traditions, it is said that dissonant energy recedes from rainbow obsidian not because of its light, but because of its clarity. It's not a tool of force, but of exposure. A shadow, after all, thrives where there is a lack of clarity. When faced with a surface that doesn't just mirror, but gently amplifies the truth within, even the most disruptive thoughts begin to lose their power. Jewelry made from this material is gaining appreciation. You will see it in simple pendants or rings. While its monetary value can range based on the stone's size and the intensity of its color, its true worth lies in its purpose, not its polish. Unlike smoky quartz, which grounds and absorbs, rainbow obsidian clarifies and illuminates. It brings what is hidden into gentle awareness. It offers support not by creating a shield, but by showing you precisely what you have the strength to face. And that is a powerful form of self-awareness. While some stones may quiet the storm, this one uses the contrast of shadow to reveal the light. Some stones support the body, and others the mind. This one supports the space between what we know and what we feel. Ancient wisdom keepers saw in it the sky held captive beneath a winter's ice. Those who journey inward know its feeling long before they know its name. Number 8, labradorite, the stone of inner light. At first glance, labradorite can appear unassuming. A simple, gray-hued stone, like a river rock smoothed by time. But when you tilt it into the light, something profound occurs. Colors ignite. Not on the surface, but from deep inside. Hues of electric blue, sea green, and radiant gold shimmer just beneath the stone's surface, like the northern lights held within a crystal. This optical effect is called labradorescence, a spectral light created by reflections within its layered structure. The light from labradorite doesn't simply bounce back. It breaks, folds, and shifts. It is not a reflection. It is a glimpse into a world beneath the ordinary. First recognized by the Inuit peoples along the coast of Labrador, Canada, this stone was believed to physically contain the aurora borealis. An old legend tells of a warrior who struck the rocks with his spear, freeing some of the lights into the sky, but leaving the rest captured forever in the stone. The Inuit viewed labradorite as a guide for journeys between realms, the physical, the spiritual, and the ancestral. Today, you can find deposits in Madagascar, Finland, and Russia. But the most treasured specimens still seem to hold that cool, northern magic, stones that glow like a gentle fire. Sourcing labradorite is an exercise in patience. Miners search for plain, looking boulders in specific geological terrain, then carefully split them, hoping the interior will be filled with color. Not all are. The ones with the brightest inner fire often hide it until they are brought into the light. Jewelers often cut this stone into smooth, curved shapes to maximize its inner glow. It is not meant to sparkle like a diamond. It is meant to shift, to hint, to suggest. It seems to change its appearance as you move, catching you by surprise like a living thing. In mindful practices, labradorite is known as the stone of the threshold, believed to strengthen the boundary between what is seen and unseen. It is often carried by empaths and intuitive guides to shield their energy field and protect against psychic drain. Not just from heavy atmospheres, but from interactions that might deplete one's own light or whisper doubt into one's spirit. But its influence runs deeper. Unlike other protective stones, labradorite does not create a hard barrier. It transforms. It does not repel difficult energy, it transmutes it, turning apprehension into insight and confusion into clarity. Ancient wisdom suggests that discordant energies are unsettled by it because it changes their very nature. They approach and lose their form, like shadows dissolving under a shifting light. And so, labradorite stands not as a wall, but as a mirror of constant change. In a world that often demands simple answers, labradorite honors mystery. In a world that seeks control, it whispers of transformation. For those of us who stand at the crossroads of our own journey, this stone offers a bridge, one that glows not outward for the world to see, but inward for you to find your way. Some guardians are loud, some burn brightly, but the most profound ones often say nothing at all. This next stone has no shimmer, no flash, no outward invitation. It doesn't dazzle. It simply holds its space, formed from ancient trees, buried for eons, compressed by the earth, and transformed into a quiet watcher. This stone is not just old. It is an embodiment of silent endurance. It protects not through power, but through presence. And in its quiet, anything that is not invited does not remain. Number 7, jet, the anchor of stillness. Jet does not sparkle. It does not glimmer. It doesn't shift its color in the light or reveal some hidden inner fire. It simply absorbs. It absorbs light, sound, and presence. And within that profound stillness, jet becomes one of the most powerful and quietly respected stones in human history. Found mainly along the sea, cliffs of Whitby, England, jet is a unique organic material formed from ancient driftwood that fell into coastal waters around 180 million years ago. Over vast stretches of time, under immense pressure, the wood was transformed and fossilized into a deep black, surprisingly lightweight substance. So light, it can almost float in salt water before it is polished. Harvesting jet is more like searching for treasure than it is like mining. There are no large machines. Instead, it is found within layers of soft shale near the sea. In Whitby, pieces often wash ashore after a storm, mixed in with pebbles and seaweed. Local artisans learn to walk those shores with a focused eye, hunting not for gold, but for shadows. A raw piece can sit comfortably in your palm, as dark as coal, but with a smooth, almost silky feel. Once it is cut and polished, jet reveals a soft, matte sheen, never glossy, never ostentatious, but undeniably still. In the world of jewelry, jet is carved into intricate cameos, beads, and pendants. During the Victorian era in England, it became a symbol of solemn remembrance, but its history goes back much further. The ancient Roman historian, Pliny the Elder, wrote of its unusual ability to purify its surroundings. Among the Navajo, jet was considered one of the sacred protective stones associated with the North and used in ceremonies to harmonize energy. In medieval times, beads of jet were sometimes sewn into the clothing of children to offer quiet protection, not because the stone was seen as powerful, but because the stillness within it was. Prices for authentic jet can vary, depending on its quality and origin. True Whitby jet, crafted by hand, is valued more highly than similar-looking materials from other parts of the world. But real jet, formed by nature over ages, has a different feel. It is warmer to the touch, lighter in weight, and carries a heavier presence. Spiritually, jet is known for protection and purification, but not in the way of crystals that radiate energy outward. Jet doesn't push negativity away. It draws it inward. It accepts agitation, grief, and worry, absorbing them like charcoal absorbs impurities, offering no resistance at all. That's why many spiritual practitioners see jet not as a guardian of the body, but as a keeper of the soul's quiet. It anchors, it grounds, it remembers. Energy workers describe jet as a kind of psychic filter. If left in a room with a grieving person, it will seem to absorb the unspoken sorrow. For this reason, it is often cleansed regularly, not with light, but by placing it in the earth or with salt, allowing it to release the energies it has gathered. But ancient folklore speaks of another kind of resonance. In esoteric traditions from Europe to the Near East, it's said that chaotic energies are quieted by jet not through resistance, but through its emptiness. It offers them no reflection to engage with, no energy to disrupt, no fear to amplify. Discordant energies feed on vibration, on the frequencies of fear and illusion. Jet offers none. It becomes a space of profound spiritual quiet, a stone so empty that no turmoil can inhabit its silence. That's why jet is rarely used for display. It doesn't try to attract attention. It doesn't shine. It protects by becoming an invisible anchor of calm. For those who walk with others through difficult times, healers, counselors, guides, jet is the stone that helps keep them whole, quietly and invisibly. For those who know its history and feel its warmth and stillness, jet is not just a gem, it is a presence, not a shield but a sentry. And when chaos draws near, this ancient, fossilized silence will not react. It will simply hold its ground, unmoved and steady. That is the kind of strength that nature understands, and the kind we humans can learn to hold within ourselves. Some stones guard, others clarify, but this one remembers, formed in the earth but touched by fire. This stone does not shine, it observes. Ancient warriors were said to carry it, not for luck, but so their courage would not go unnoticed. Every red mark on its surface is a reminder, not of conflict, but of commitment. I see your struggle. I stand with your strength. I will not turn away. Number 6, bloodstone, the stone of courageous presence. Dark green jasper with flecks of deep red. That is the image that comes to mind when we hear the name bloodstone. But few are aware of how long this gem has symbolized fortitude, perseverance, and a kind of watchful strength. This ancient stone was respected from the time of the Roman Empire to the traditions of India, used by leaders, priests, and guides not for its beauty, but for its steady awareness. Geologically, bloodstone is a type of quartz known as heliotrope. It is primarily found in India, Brazil, Australia, and the United States, especially in areas with a history of volcanic activity meeting iron-rich earth. These traces of iron give bloodstone its famous appearance. Deep green jasper marbled with spots of red hematite, sometimes described as resembling drops of rain on jungle leaves. Its extraction blends both old and new methods. In India's Deccan Plateau, families have passed down the knowledge of finding bloodstone boulders hidden in basalt formations. The work is mostly manual, carefully chipping away at iron-rich rock, then washing the exposed stone to reveal the signature red marks. In Oregon, modern prospectors explore riverbeds, sometimes using ultraviolet light to spot the stone's subtle glint among other minerals. When polished into smooth cabocons, bloodstone shows intricate patterns and scattered crimson dots. Each piece is entirely unique, with no two patterns ever being the same. In symbolic jewelry, it is shaped into protective rings, amulets, and pendants. Depending on its cut and origin, a single piece can range in value, especially if it displays a balanced and vivid pattern. But its legend runs deeper than its surface. In medieval Europe, a Christian belief emerged that bloodstone was formed at the site of the crucifixion, as drops of blood fell upon the green earth and solidified into stone. Monks would carve scenes of the Passion into it. Soldiers would carry it into battle, not because it seemed divine, but because it was believed to sharpen one's awareness, to sense challenges before they arose. In old alchemical writings, bloodstone was associated with perseverance and vision, not the ability to see the future, but the clarity to see through illusions. It was said to help warriors stay calm in the midst of chaos and to give mystics the discernment to separate true insight from distracting thoughts. In modern metaphysical practices, bloodstone is used for grounding in times of crisis. Energy practitioners believe it creates a stabilizing connection between the heart and our sense of foundation, allowing a person to stay emotionally present while feeling protected. Its red flecks are thought to help process trauma, particularly feelings related to struggle or shame. The green matrix is said to transmute this energy, not by sealing it away, but by integrating it as strength. But it is the folklore that remains most compelling. An old Himalayan legend, shared in certain contemplative circles, says that unsettled spirits cannot look at bloodstone directly, not because it repels them, but because it mirrors their intentions. Not their form, but their motivation. To hold it before a person in turmoil can cause the inner conflict to falter. Not with a dramatic effect, but a simple pause, as if the discord is caught in its own falsehood. This is why bloodstone is rarely worn for glamour. It does not flatter. It asks for authenticity. It doesn't attract light. It reveals the strength within the shadow. For a healer, it represents a sacred wound turned to wisdom. For a warrior, it's a second pair of eyes. For someone facing fear, it's a mirror they must choose to hold up. Because bloodstone does not speak, it waits, and when it sees what lies beneath, it holds that space in witness. That is what makes this stone resonate so deeply. Not its power, but its willingness to stand beside you in your strength. And that kind of steady presence is something discord cannot endure. You are listening to a voice that echoes from the threshold of stillness and strength. In our journey through the stones that anchor the human spirit, today we arrive at number 5, black tourmaline, the guardian of personal space. Right now, I am among the ancient granite cliffs of the Erongo Mountains in Namibia, where some of the oldest forces of the earth have held this legendary mineral for ages. But black tourmaline is not found only in Namibia. You can find it in regions formed by ancient magma flows: Brazil, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, and even in parts of the United States, like California and Maine. However, not all sources are the same. Some of the most potent specimens come from Minas Gerais, Brazil, where volcanic activity formed jet black columns deep beneath the Earth's surface, a hidden fortress of natural energy. Mining black tourmaline is a task requiring respect for the stone. Unlike gold or diamonds, it is not found in easy-to-see veins. These black crystals form inside coarse igneous rocks that must be carefully opened. Too much force shatters the crystal. Too little, and it remains hidden, a silent guardian that prefers not to be disturbed. Black tourmaline often grows in long, hexagonal columns, sometimes larger than a person's hand. Its vertical lines give it the look of a weathered, ancient tool. The color is a deep, absolute black, not glossy like obsidian, not reflective like onyx, but a light-absorbing black, like gazing into a deep, silent well. And here is a hidden quality under the right light. Rare specimens can show deep green or blue threads within them, like frozen veins of energy, hinting at the primal force held inside. Because of its intense ability to absorb energy, black tourmaline has been used for centuries in protective practices in Tibetan temples, Hindu altars, and European traditions. Feng Shui practitioners place it near doorways to prevent negative energy from entering a space. To them, this is not just a stone. It is a shield of tranquility. In the market, raw black tourmaline can be quite accessible. Small pieces are often sold for just a few dollars, but when crafted into jewelry, bracelets, pendants, or rings with stones over 10 carats, prices can range from $100 to $300, depending on origin and craftsmanship. High-quality pieces from Brazil or Afghanistan often command higher prices. Yet, its real value lies beyond its cost. For those who understand energy and intention, black tourmaline is not just an accessory. It is a wall of peace between the soul and the outside world's noise. It doesn't just protect, it purifies. Some say that simply holding one can calm the mind, quiet inner chaos, and stop the distracting whispers from whatever unsettles us. You may not believe in external negative forces, but if you've ever woken in the night feeling a sense of unease, perhaps you will understand why some people keep a black tourmaline crystal nearby. And that is black tourmaline, the guardian of personal space, a stone meant not to shine, but to stand, a protector not of beauty, but of balance. It marks the line between our inner peace and whatever waits on the other side of the door. In our search for luminous protectors, the sacred stones that darkness fears, we now arrive at number 4, selenite, the blade of light. This is not just a crystal. It's a fragment of moonlight captured in stone, and the legends around it stretch far across deserts, cathedrals, and ancient rituals lost to time. The name selenite is derived from Selene, the Greek goddess of the moon, a fitting name for a crystal that seems to glow softly even in shadow. You'll find its most breathtaking forms in the gypsum mines of Morocco, the vast salt flats of Mexico, and the crystalline caves of Naka, Chihuahua, where massive selenite pillars grow like the ribs of an ancient titan. Other deposits are scattered throughout Australia, Greece, and the American Southwest. But no matter where it's found, selenite shares a common quality. It forms in delicate, fibrous blades, often long and translucent, almost like glass, but never cold. Hold one up to the light, and you'll see bands rippling through it, like the folds of angelic wings, or the quiet waves of a sea under a full moon. Some specimens can reach over 6 feet in length, but even in small, hand-sized pieces, the energy they radiate is unmistakable. Unlike most crystals, selenite does not need to be cleansed. In fact, it's one of the few stones believed to cleanse other stones. This quality alone makes it a mystery and a challenge to any energy that thrives in psychic clutter or chaos. Selenite is usually white to pearlescent, but it can also appear in shades of honey, peach, or pale gold, depending on mineral inclusions. Despite its fragile structure, it scores only a 2 on the Mohs hardness scale. It has been revered as a tool of incredible strength in metaphysical traditions. The paradox is clear: physically delicate, but spiritually unbreakable. In ancient Mesopotamia, temple priests would line doorways with blades of selenite, believing it prevented disruptive spirits from entering sacred spaces. In Egyptian tombs, selenite was placed at the head and feet of the deceased, a luminous guide for the soul's journey to the afterlife. And even today, spiritual practitioners use selenite wands in energy healing, calling it the light sword that cuts through psychic parasites and ancestral trauma, not with violence, but with clarity. It doesn't burn like obsidian or block like tourmaline. It simply dissolves darkness by making it irrelevant. Commercially, selenite is surprisingly accessible. Small ones, spheres, and carved towers can often be found for $10 to $50, while larger, high-quality specimens or decorative pieces can cost up to $200 or more. But few who buy it realize they are not just acquiring an aesthetic object. They are holding a ritual tool, a symbol of purity that has outlasted empires. Its widespread availability conceals a secret. Selenite cannot be left in water for long. It will dissolve like moonlight reflected on a pond. Too much rough handling can cause it to break. This delicate nature makes it even more sacred, a tool that exists only when treated with respect. I once stood in a meditation cave in southern Spain, where selenite lined the walls like frozen waves. The air felt charged, as though whispers were being swept away before they could even form. That is the power of selenite. It doesn't fight the dark. It makes it meaningless. Discordant energies, if you consider them, thrive on confusion, on the murky edges between emotion and intention, and that's where selenite shines brightest. Not as a weapon to strike, but as a blade of light that reveals, a blade that shreds illusion, parts veils, and leaves you face to face with your own truth. So if you ever feel the weight of something unseen, a pressure at the edges of your thoughts, reach not for fire but for light. That is selenite, the blade of light, not forged by flame but crystallized from silence, a weapon of stillness, and in stillness shadows cannot hide. We have moved through shadows, earth and light. As we enter the final three, we come to a gem that doesn't just protect, it elevates. This is number 3, amethyst, the crown of clarity. I have held many stones in my hands, relics from volcanoes, fossils from ancient forests, talismans from forgotten places, but few resonate with the same quiet authority as amethyst. It isn't loud. It doesn't pulse with intense energy. It simply clears the fog from the mind. Amethyst is a variety of quartz, but this should not mislead you. It is the most regal member of its family. Its name comes from the ancient Greek word amethystos, meaning not intoxicated, which hints at its power. The ancients believed this violet crystal could ward off drunkenness, but over time, its meaning deepened, from resisting wine to resisting illusion itself. Geographically, amethyst is found all over the world, in Brazil, Uruguay, Zambia, South Korea, and Russia's Ural Mountains. But not all are of equal quality. The deepest royal purples, sometimes with flashes of red, come from the Artigas region of Uruguay, where volcanic geodes are opened like dragon's eggs to reveal perfect violet crystal cities inside. Mining amethyst is less about brute force and more about respect for its delicate nature. These geodes form in ancient lava bubbles, hollow spaces where mineral, rich steam solidified into hexagonal crystals over millions of years. One wrong strike and the entire formation can fracture. The best amethysts are therefore harvested with surgical precision, sometimes by hand. When polished, amethyst glows with a spectrum of lavender to deep violet, like shards of frozen twilight. It is beautiful, yet mysterious, and there is more here than just beauty. Amethyst has been used in sacred contexts for over 5,000 years. Egyptian pharaohs set it into burial masks. Catholic bishops still wear amethyst rings as symbols of humility and spiritual clarity. Tibetan monks carve prayer beads from it, and even in modern crystal practices, it is known as the stone of the third eye. If confusion feeds a troubled mind, amethyst starves it. It doesn't repel darkness with raw energy like tourmaline. Instead, it helps you become unreachable. It sharpens your thoughts, settles your aura, and centers your spirit like a crown gently placed upon your head. In esoteric traditions, this stone is placed over the crown chakra, the gateway to cosmic consciousness. Practitioners claim it allows the soul to rise above fear, desire, and ego, the very anchors through which negativity finds its grip. The price of amethyst varies widely. Small tumbled stones can be found for under $10, while museum-grade cathedral geodes from South America can cost thousands of dollars. Jewelry-quality faceted amethyst can range from $50 to several $100s, depending on clarity and depth of color. But again, its true value lies in what it reveals, not what it costs. In my travels, I have seen amethyst shrines inside mountain monasteries. Once, in a ruined temple near Delhi, I found a tiny amulet carved from violet quartz, buried beneath charred altar stones, as if it had withstood fire, earthquake, and empire, and was still guarding something or someone. If you ever feel lost, not physically but spiritually, amethyst is the guide that doesn't pull you back, but raises you above the maze. And that is precisely why darkness fears it. Not all demons come with claws. Some come as confusion, self-doubt, and seductive half-truths. But a mind crowned in clarity is a mind they cannot enter. This is amethyst, the crown of clarity. Not a weapon, but a throne. And once you wear it, even the shadows bow. Some stones come from mountains, others from the deep earth. But this one fell from the sky. Welcome to number 2, Moldavite, the starfall catalyst. To understand Moldavite, you must look beyond geology and into deep time. This is not just a crystal, it's a scar, a memory of impact, a trace of a collision between Earth and something utterly alien. About 15 million years ago, in what is now the Czech Republic, a massive meteor over a kilometer wide slammed into the Bohemian Plateau with unimaginable force. The impact was so violent it vaporized bedrock and threw liquefied silica into the upper atmosphere. There, under the pressure of re-entry and cosmic heat, these droplets cooled in mid-air and rained back down as green glass. That glass was Moldavite. The best specimens are still mined in southern Bohemia and Moravia, near the towns of Tin nad Vltavou and Bednon Rek. Moldavite is not found in commercial quantities anywhere else. Every piece is a finite remnant of that single impact, a cosmic fingerprint shaped by both earth and sky. Moldavite is usually olive, mossy, or bottle green, sometimes with hints of brown or rare golden streaks. It forms in irregular, wrinkled shards like torn leaf fragments of an alien plant. No two pieces are identical. Its surface is etched by natural weathering over millennia. Those grooves, called sculptation, are like star maps written in glass. When held up to the light, Moldavite glows as if it's alive. There is something hypnotic about it, and for centuries, people have felt this. In Celtic lore, it was called the Emerald of the Sky. In medieval times, it was believed to bring prophetic dreams and protect against demonic possession. In modern spiritual circles, it is famously, and sometimes fearfully, known as the Stone of Transformation. And make no mistake, Moldavite changes things quickly. Many who wear it for the first time report the Moldavite flush, a wave of heat, dizziness, or sudden emotion. This is not a gentle companion stone. It accelerates, it uproots, it brings suppressed emotions to the surface, distorts dreams, and cracks open whatever shell you've built around your inner truth. It is as if the stone remembers the impact that created it. And when you touch it, that force echoes through you. That is why legends say demons hate it. Not because it repels them, but because it transforms the person they are trying to manipulate. It raises your vibration, and high-frequency souls are very, very difficult to bind. You see, demonic forces do not fear fire or swords. They fear awakening, and Moldavite is the matchstick that lights the soul. But be warned, this is not a stone for everyone. It is often said that you do not choose Moldavite, it chooses you. Many people report needing to take breaks from it. Some even return it, unable to handle the energetic shifts it triggers. Yet, those who embrace it often speak of radical life changes, careers ending, relationships dissolving, truth surfacing, followed eventually by alignment and purpose. The price of Moldavite has skyrocketed in recent years as authentic deposits run dry and counterfeit pieces flood the market. True Moldavite from verified Czech sources now sells for $15 to $50 per gram, with large or high clarity specimens reaching hundreds or even thousands of dollars. I once saw a raw piece in a simple silver pendant on a woman in the Austrian Alps. She did not wear it for beauty. She said, "It woke me up, I've never been the same." And that is Moldavite. Not a shield, not a sword, but a catalyst. A falling star that, upon impact, creates something entirely new in the world and in you. Demons do not just fear Moldavite because of its celestial origin. They fear what it awakens, because the moment you remember who you are, who you truly are, they no longer have anything to hold on to. This is Moldavite, the starfall catalyst, a stone of fire born in silence, a cosmic key, and the countdown begins the moment you touch it. We have crossed into darkness, walked through fire, shadow, and starlight. Now, at the end of this sacred journey, we arrive at the beginning of knowledge and the final threshold of protection. This is number 1, lapis lazuli, the eye of the divine. Few stones carry a legacy as ancient or as feared as this deep blue relic of the earth. Lapis lazuli is not just a gem. It is a symbol, a language, a gateway. And demons cannot stand the gaze of what it opens. You will find lapis buried in the cradle of civilization, the mountains of Badakhshan, Afghanistan, where it has been mined for over 500 years. From those harsh, wind-carved cliffs, the ancient world was given its first sacred blue, not from the sky or sea, but from stone. It was used by Sumerian priest kings, Egyptian pharaohs, Mesopotamian astronomers, and Renaissance alchemists. Cleopatra crushed it into powder for her eyes. Tutankhamun had it inlaid into his burial mask, and the prophets of Babylon carved prayers into it, believing the words would remain visible even in the afterlife. When you hold a piece of lapis, you are holding history and mystery. Its color is unmistakable, a deep celestial blue, sometimes streaked with veins of white calcite or flecked with shimmering pyrite, like stars in a midnight sky. No synthetic pigment can ever quite capture it, because lapis does not just reflect light, it reflects meaning. It often forms in opaque slabs or rounded chunks, and when polished, it takes on a rich, regal smoothness. Not glossy, but eternally dignified. It is the stone of philosophers, seers, and silent protectors. Across spiritual traditions, lapis lazuli is linked to the third eye and throat chakras, the centers of perception and truth. It is said to awaken intuition, dismantle illusion, and grant access to inner vision. And that is exactly why darkness fears it. Demons, as folklore teaches us, do not always come screaming. Sometimes they come as whispers, subtle lies, illusions of ego, or distortions of memory. But lapis is the mirror that does not blink. It sees. And what it sees, it reveals hidden truths, shadows masked as light. That is the worst fate for deception exposure. Lapis is not loud. It does not strike. It reveals, and revelation, pure, piercing, inescapable, is death to any lie. In many ancient rites, priests and shamans would anoint lapis with sacred oils and press it to their foreheads before rituals, believing it opened a line of communication with higher realms. Even now, energy workers place it over the third eye to enter trance states, guided meditations, or lucid dreams. For those on spiritual paths, it becomes a compass, an eye of the divine, always watching, always reminding. It does not allow corruption to hide. For entities who thrive in secrecy, that makes lapis their most dangerous enemy. Its market value varies. Raw pieces can sell for 20 to 50, while high-grade deep blue specimens from Afghanistan, especially those with rich gold pyrite and minimal calcite, can fetch prices in the hundreds to thousands. Museum-quality stones, especially those with historical provenance, are essentially priceless. I once saw a chunk of lapis embedded into the stone floor of a forgotten Zoroastrian fire temple. It was not carved or marked. It just was, as if it had always been there, watching, waiting, guarding something not meant to be disturbed. Because that is what lapis does. It does not just protect you from outer demons. It forces you to face your inner ones too. The ones you have buried, the truths you have ignored, the lies you have told yourself. And in doing so, it frees you. So if you ever feel lost in illusion, unsure of what is real, drowning in noise, know this lapis will not save you, it will show you. This is lapis lazuli, the eye of the divine, the watcher, the revealer, the final gate. And that is why darkness fears it most of all. That was only the first part of the journey. If you have come this far, you are not just curious, you are awakening. The deeper we go, the stranger and more powerful these stones become. If you felt something stir while listening, you will want to see what awaits in the top 5. Please tap the like button, follow the channel, and enable notifications so you do not miss what comes next. Believe me, the next stone is one that even shadows will not approach. Until next time, stay curious, stay protected, and stay just a little dangerous.